The Air Max is one of the most innovative sneakers in history, if not the most innovative sneaker of all time. And when you consider all the evolutions of today in terms of textiles or technology, you can't help but think that Nike will come up with even more incredible products. But what if I told you that this product had already been out for 7 years, but that it was still in the early stages of its evolution? You understood it? Today we're concluding our little Air Max series with a very recent and promising model, the Vapormax. Hi everyone, it's Arthur Barandi, and today we're traveling into the future. It's 2017, and it's the 30th anniversary of the Air Max 1, the first sneaker with visible air technology. And if back then Nike almost fired Tinker Hatfield for that zany window in the sole project, today we're trying to completely remove the window to show as much as possible the air bubble that made the swoosh brand so successful, and that's exactly what's going to happen with the Vapormax. When it first came out, the model was very divisive, and it continues to be so today. Like the Air Max Plus, you either love it or you hate it. The goal was to create yet another revolution in running, but also in style. So, will Nike succeed and do it again 30 years later? When it came to creating the sneaker, Zachary Elder and Tom Minami, the designers of the Vapormax, had one idea in mind: to create the simplest shoe possible, without all the unnecessary elements. In other words, leave only the essentials. Even if its design will be special, even shocking for some, it will have to follow this guideline. And when you look at the first pair released in March 2017, you immediately think that the mission has been accomplished. Never before has a pair of Air Maxes been so light. And also, it will be the perfect celebration of its air technology, because the air bubble has become the soul. But even if simplicity was the watchword for the pair's creation, its design was far from it, especially for this new air sole, which took 3 years to design. According to Nike, it took more than 15 trials. That's an enormous amount of work in sole design to get the final version right. They had to test the shoe on 350 runners, and the sole mold is made up of 39,000 different components. But in any case, it was mission accomplished. They completely eliminated the non-essential elements of sneaker anatomy and kept only the essentials. And not just on the upper. The air bubble is involved because, despite its appearance, Nike has tried to use as little air as possible in a more efficient way. They studied the foot's pressure points to determine the exact amount of air needed for cushioning. But when it comes to the visibility of this air bubble, that's as far as we'll ever get, unless we create an all-air bubble Air Max even for the upper. And not only would that not be pretty, it wouldn't be comfortable either. But okay, that's all well and good, but the general public didn't know what I was talking about, so how did they manage to sell it? So in March 2017, Nike releases the Nike Vapormax and presents it as the modern-day running revolution. With a fully visible air bubble, which they claim offers the ultimate cushioning, Nike wants to sell it as the most perfect Air Max ever created. But is it really the case? Well, for the moment, not really. Because runners were very disappointed with the sneaker. Despite being tested on 350 different runners, the normal runners who bought it finally gave their opinion. And here's what they had to say. According to them, the shoe is super comfortable to walk in. You really feel a cushion of air under your feet. And it is indeed possible to run in them, but only if you're a real pro. Why? Because the sneaker is not stable. In fact, because of the low number of elements on the shoe, it's too light. As a result, it is less stable than other Air Max and Asics running shoes, which are considered by far the best on the market. Some even twisted their ankles because of the Vapormax. So yes, Nike sold the shoe as a running shoe, but in truth, it's more suited to the street at the moment and will need more evolution to compete with other Air Maxes or Asics shoes. Nevertheless, getting the balance right will take time. So what are they going to do with this new air sole in the short term while they sort out the balance? Many Vapormaxes have been released, and there are so many that I can't possibly list them all, but we can talk about the most important ones, like the Vapormax Flyknit, the first to be released, the Vapormax Mesh with a thicker fabric on the upper, the Vapormax Run Utility with its tough waterproof fabric, the Vapormax 2019 with a translucent effect on the upper, and the Vapormax Evo, the last to be released in 2021, which combines elements of the Air Max 90, 93, 96, Air Max Plus, Air Max Tuned 99, Air Max Solace, and Air Max 180. But what made the Vapormax successful over the long term was not these innovative, rather classic models. It's the hybrids, which have restored balance to this unstable shoe. The Vapormax sole was mostly reused to relaunch the brand's classics, such as the Air Vapormax 97, the Air Vapormax 95, the Air Vapormax 360, and even the Air Vapormax Plus. And Nike didn't stop there to promote its new technology, as they opted for some crazy collaborations. Obviously, the first of these is their collaboration with Off-White in the 10 collection in 2017, then in 2018 with 2 new colorways. Well, the black one is very similar to the 10, but it's still a new colorway. But Off-White weren't the only ones, since Nike will be teaming up with Comme des Garçons to create laceless Vapormaxes, but also with Acronym. Finally, we can also talk about the incredible Cactus Plant Flea Market, which is considered the best Vapormax collaboration to date. But despite all that, yes, it's a huge flop. Okay, I'm being harsh. It's not really a flop. It's just that they weren't as successful as originally planned. But let's be honest, who wears Vapormaxes? Frankly, I spend my life looking at people's feet, and I very rarely see any. And when I do, I scream in my head, oh my god, Vapormaxes! Sorry, let's be serious for a minute. I mean, how many models from Nike in history came out in the 80s or 90s and were only successful 10 or 20 years later? Well, the same may be true for the Nike Vapormax. The collection has a lot of potential, especially thanks to its hybrid models. Also, Nike has stated that we're only at the beginning, that what we've been wearing for 5 years is only a prototype that will allow this pair to last over time. And us, as sneaker fans, we'd like nothing more. Surprise us, please us, as you pleased those people in the 90s with all those legendary models. Prove us wrong and show us that this model is indeed the shoe of the future.